So for this experiment, we want a variety of different volumes of water behind where the hole is. So as you can see, I've found a variety of cups and containers and bottles, and I'm going to use these to do my test. The first container I used, I wasn't very careful. I didn't really measure the height of this hole. It didn't really matter. But now I want the heights to be the same for all of them. So I'm going to pick a height and stick with it. This one's kind of an odd one. I'm not going to use it. So I'm going to pick 2 centimeters. That seems like a good height. It'll get me up above the bottom of the cup there, and it'll get me above the funny parts and the curves of the bottle of the container here. And so 2 centimeters seems like a good amount. So I'm going to try to get this 2 centimeters up from the bottom. I want to put a hole in each one of these containers. And so I'm going to use my push pin, get the bottom lined up, and it looks like 2 centimeters is about there. And I'll make a hole with my push pin, and then I'll widen it. I'll make it a little bit bigger using my nail or whatever you happen to have. We just want the holes to be the same in all of these containers. So now you can see I have a hole 2 centimeters above the bottom in each of my containers. And I've got a nice variety in the diameter. So here's my smallest container, and here's my biggest container. You can see quite a bit of difference there. Now what we want to do is put a mark the same height above the hole on each container. So I'm going to pick my smallest container, that's this one, the shortest container I should say, and I'm going to measure up a certain amount. I don't know how much. Let's just pick a nice round number. I think if I go right to the top of this container, it's 5 centimeters exactly to the middle of this hole. So I think I'm going to just use 5 centimeters, and that's going to be the top of this container. And now I'll go up. If you don't want to go to the top of your container, then use a different number. Use 4 centimeters and put a mark there with a Sharpie or permanent marker, and then you can try to fill to that line. So I'm just going to go 5 centimeters on each one. I want the same height on all of them. So if I'm at 10 here, then 5 centimeters up is right there. Okay, so I've got 5. Let me just check that. And I'll do the same with my other containers. And then when I do my test, I'll fill the water up to the 5 centimeter mark, and I'll test that height, the same height for all of them. 5 centimeters, same height for all of them, and we'll look to see how far the flow is. Now we have to measure the volume of water from the line in our cup. And so this is full of water to our starting line, and I'm going to take that and pour it into a measuring cup, set it on a flat surface, and I'll read off the side here. It looks to me like it's about 150 milliliters. And so I'll record that number, and then I'll do the same thing for each of my other containers. Now this container is quite large. I might have to fill this a couple of times, maybe 3 or 4 times actually, to get to measure out how much water's in here. But the idea is we're measuring the volume of water in our container below the mark. So a couple of things you should keep in mind when doing the experiment. When you let go of that hole and water starts coming out, you want to do the measurement as quickly as possible. So that looked to me like it hit right about 11 when the hole was first opened up. Now you can see the values changing. The other thing you can do, which is always a good idea in science, is to go back and fill the cup up to its starting point and do the measurement 2 or 3 times and get an average.